for you. You gotta go down and join the union YSL.
Now let's concentrate. Have you been trailing Firefly?
Have we been trailing Firefly? Why, my partner, he's got a nose just like a bloodhound.
Really?
Yeah, and the rest of his face don't look so good either. Look, we find out all about this Firefly. Here, look at this.
Ah, very good, very good. Wait a minute. We must not be disturbed. And now, gentlemen, please, will you tell me what you found out about Firefly?
Well, you remember you gave us a picture of this man and said follow him?
Oh, yes.
Well, we get on the job right away. And in the 1 hour, even in less than 1 hour...
Yes?
We lose the fix. That's a pretty quick wait, eh?
But I asked you to dig up something I can use against Firefly. Did you bring me his record? Now, Ciccolini, I want a full, detailed report of your investigation.
All right, I tell you. Monday, we watch the Firefly's house, but he no come out. He wasn't home. Tuesday, we go to the ball game, but he fool us. He no show up. Wednesday, he go to the ball game, and we fool him. We no show up. Thursday was a doubleheader. Nobody show up. Friday, it rained all day. There was no ball game. So we stayed home. We listened to her over the radio.
Then you didn't shadow Firefly.
Oh, sure, we shadow Fire. We shadow him all day.
But what day was that?
Saturday. That's some joke, eh, boss?
Now, will you tell me what happened on Saturday?
I'm glad you asked me. We followed this man down to a roadhouse. And at this roadhouse, he meet a married lady.
A married lady?
Yeah, I think it was his wife.
Firefly has no wife?
No?
No.
Then you know what I think, boss?
What?
I think we followed the wrong man.
Oh, gentlemen, I am disappointed.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops, endless miles of railroad laid. Now we stand outcast and starving mid the wonders we have made, but the union makes us strong.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
They have taken untold millions that they never toiled to earn, but without our brain and muscle not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of atoms, magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
When there was a picket line, they were out front. I don't care if it was on 14th Street, 42nd Street, 34th Street, every community. There was some guy up in that soapbox going away, you know, the working class, the capitalist class has nothing in common, nothing. You know, and you'd ponder that. And then it went on and on and on about how they exploited you. And you'd have to sit there, you thought about it, you said, Jesus, that's so right. Them son of a bitches up there eating the filet mignon, and we're down here eating burnt liver. Wasn't a day went by that there wasn't some communist in some particular neighborhood leading a delegation of 25 people down to the welfare board or some other board. These people are hungry, feed them and give them something to eat, give them rent or do something. There was this type of activity going on. Now, when you take a group of people, 25, 30 people, who don't know from nothing, don't know rheumatism from communism or what the hell, they just don't know nothing, and you take them down, lead them down to, say, a welfare director, where the guy jumps up at a desk, I mean, he's berserk. This is what was happening in them days. And the people come out, you come out victorious, where you do get a check, you do get a box of food, the gas, they turn it on, or whatever it is. I mean, you're going to give much credence to the type of person that's doing this for you. You must say, Jesus Christ, contrary to what I heard about the communists or the Reds, the man can't be bad or the woman can't be bad. Look what they've done for me. Well, first of all, if you've never been on a soapbox, it's sort of awkward. You get up on a chair and you look out, especially when the guy will precede you by saying, the next speaker is Bill Bailey, a member of the Marine Workers Industrial Union, and great, and this, and that. You know, they give you a big razzle-dazzle, and you get up there and you look out over a couple of hundred faces. Nobody's laughing, no expression, you know, no nothing. You don't know if they got a ham sandwich in their hand they're going to hit you with or what. And you're supposed to razzle-dazzle them, you know, stir them, you know, really get them up to where they're screaming bloody murder. Well, you know, and you get up there and your mouth is dry, you know, butterflies in your stomach. I mean, you're complete emotional, ready to collapse, and the first thing you said to yourself, I wish an earthquake takes place at this very minute, you know. But anyway, like everything else, you take a deep breath, and you say your first word. And the second one comes out a little bit easier, and after you get the word fellow worker, you know, out of your mouth, that's the way it is. Then bit by bit, you start warming up. You'd be listening to a conversation of 6 or 7 people chewing a rag, and you'd always hear somebody saying, but they've done it in Russia. There's no unemployment in Russia. Everybody's working in Russia. If it could happen in Russia, why can't it happen here? And these were just simple Americans. In fact, I sheepishly, I feel embarrassed. An old Jewish guy asked me, he had so much confidence in me. He said, Bill, when do you think the revolution is going to come? And I said, the way I feel, I said, I'm sure it's going to come within 5 years. He said, thanks, I hope I shall live to see that day. I shall hold myself together. Hitler was getting powerful. There were Jewish pogroms being committed, and there was nothing in my soul that was more devastating than to see the Nazis laughing, bastards laughing, while they dragged some poor Jewish woman naked across the street through spit and manure and everything else, and threw her on a sidewalk by the back of the neck, write Jew all over the windows, you know, all this type of stuff. I mean, because I saw that was my family that they were doing it to. You know, if they could do it to Jews, they could do it to my mother. And that son of a bitch, no son of a bitch was going to do it. And something had to be done, you know. And I said, I don't care how, I've just got to get to Spain. They always had a boogeyman, and the Russian, now it's the Russian. Before it was, you know, somebody else, but now it's definitely the Russians, you know, the communists. They're going to attack us. We're defenseless. We've got to get more submarines, more guns, and so forth. Now the people go into a lull. They start fearing communists in their backyard, communists going to crop up in their soup, you know, communist infiltration of the school, because that's the program. Give them what they want. Give them all battleships, give them all the money they want. Unfortunately, the people get lulled into this, and they believe it. And like they're going to believe it until the day they get wiped off the face of the earth.
Flashed a badge at me. He says, Mr. Seeger, I'm from the FBI. I wonder if you'd like to talk to us about the communist conspiracy. I just smiled and said, no, thanks. I suppose I could have gotten off some good retorts, like I don't know about any conspiracy. I mean,
Hey, Bill Bailey. And I said, yeah. It was a stairway. And sometimes I have it's hard for me to remember a face, especially if you got your boiler clothes off or something like that. If you know, in the engine room or something, everybody sort of, you get to know everybody. But once he puts this nice suit of clothes on with a colored tie, you lose track of him, see? And I said, yeah. He said, hey, man, I got something for you, you know? I said, you have? Yeah, what do you got? Come on upstairs. And I figured it must be some fireman I knew or some guy. And he comes up, he says, here. And I take it, and it says, the House Un-American Committee demands your presence here at the City Hall, such and such and such a day, you know. And that's what happened. It was a subpoena. And I said, okay, and the guy walked down. I said, thank you, son of a bitch.
What is your name, please, sir?
William J. Bailey. I think I could save the committee a lot of time if you would allow me to read a statement off that I have laboriously put down on paper. If you allow me to read it all.
Did you write it, or would somebody else write it for you?
I'm quite capable of writing my own statements, Mr. Congressman. Why do you make that type of inference? Do I look like an idiot or a dummy here? I wrote the statement.
Were you at any time during 1946 acting as the West Coast coordinator of the Seamen's branches of the Communist Party?
Well, where would you get that information?
Is it wrong?
Well, where would you get the information?
Is it wrong?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I decline to answer that question or any other question dealing with organization names or anything else.
All I want to do is just get up there and tell them, go and screw yourself as quickly as possible and get the hell out of the way. You know? And as far as I'm concerned, if they was to ask me ordinarily, are you a communist? I said, yeah, you son of a bitch, and I'm proud of it. But in this thing, you couldn't do it, you know?
Why not?
Well, because that was the whole name of the game. I mean, are you a communist? Once you answered the first question, then from then on, you had to answer and answer and answer, and you couldn't, you know, answer only the questions you wanted to answer, and et cetera, you know?
Are you a member of the Communist Party?
Well, frankly, Mr. Chairman, I don't think that's any of your business. I would give you the same answer I have given the FBI, the Red Squad, the police department, and everybody else. That is just none of your business.
Let the record show that the witness has raised his voice in contempt of the Committee of Congress.
I came out of there and somebody said, I heard it on the radio. You shouldn't talk to a senator that way or a congressman. They felt I was wrong, shouting at them.
What did you say?
I said I should have picked the chair up. Any decent American would have picked the chair up and threw it at the bastards.
We are granting you the right to refuse to answer any question that you think might incriminate you.
But don't you think basing myself on the Constitution obligates me to say a word or two about the origins of this? I am a student of American history and have been for many years.
You're ordered to answer the questions only. We're not going to take a lecture from a man who refuses to state whether he's a member of the Communist Party as of this moment. We're not going to take a lecture from him on the Constitution of the United States. We don't think we need it. You will answer the question.
Sir, this is not a simple question. This is a question that goes to the depths of my conscience as an American.
Here's one that is simple, then, if you won't argue about it. Do you believe in the overthrow of the United States government by force or violence?
I must refuse to answer that question, basing my refusal upon the privilege granted to me in the Fifth Amendment. And in line with your words, sir, I wish you would allow me to spell out that privilege and what it means. And why I am evoking it. No, I don't think everyone in this room knows this. Very few people know this. Why don't you give me a chance to state this?
Write a book.
I shall, and I have.
Well, write another.
Most of the people they called up before them declined to cooperate. They used the Fifth Amendment, which in effect says, you have no right to ask me this question. But I was in a much stronger position. I didn't have any job they could fire me from. I sang at schools and camps for people who didn't care much for this committee. I simply said, I think your whole line of questioning is something that no American should be forced to undergo, especially under threat of reprisal if they give the wrong answer. I said, I have a right to my opinion, you have a right to your opinion. And from then I clammed up. And after about an hour, they gave up on me.
A lot of people may raise the question, why all this hullabaloo about being fair, particularly when the people you're investigating are a bunch of traitors? fact, I've heard some people even say, after all, they're a bunch of rats. Why don't we go out and shoot them? Well, I agree that the communists are rats. But on the other hand, remember this. When you go out to shoot rats, you've got to shoot straight.
She never was afraid of the goons and the ginks and the company thinks and the deputy sheriff that made the raid. She'd go to the union hall when a meeting it was called, and when the company boys came around, she always stood her ground. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union.
Hey, you sing it with us.
Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die.
This union maid was wise to the tricks of the company spies. She'd never be fooled by a company stool. She'd always organize the guys. She'd always get her way. When she got some better pay, she'd show her card to the National Guard, and this is what she'd say.
Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union till the day I die.
Oh, one more time. Oh, you can't
scare me, I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union till the day I die.
Last is the one that the woman has made up. Now you women who want to be free, take a little tip from me. Break out of that mold we've all been sold. You got a fighting history, the fight for women's rights. With workers must unite. Like Mother Jones, just move them bones to the front of every fight. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved.
The union is behind us.
We shall not be moved.
The union is behind us.
We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved.
We will stand and fight together.
We shall not be moved.
We will stand and fight together.
We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved.
We are black and white together.
We shall not be moved.
We are black and white together.
We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved.
Well, sir,
Isn't he just looking? You can answer that one easily.
Well, Mr. Welch, do you want to imply that I'm not answering it? You ask me a question and then you say with the implication as though I can answer it.
Well, answer it. Mr. Stevens is looking to his right, isn't he?
Sir, if you'll give me the chance, I'll try to answer it.
By all means, sir.
Thank you. The picture to me looks as though Mr. Stevens and Private Shine are looking at each other.
My question was a simple one. Mr. Stevens is looking to his right, is he not?
Yes, I would say he probably is looking to his right, and Private Shine is standing at his right.
And on Mr. Stevens' right are two figures. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. To Mr. Stevens' right, there are two figures.
And one is Private Shine.
Yes, sir.
And further to Mr. Stevens' right is Colonel Bradley.
Standing sideways.
It would take someone with clairvoyance to know to whom Secretary Stevens is looking, would it not?
No, sir, I don't think so. It would take somebody with common sense who can look at a picture and see what's in it.
I think I observe on Colonel Bradley's face a faint little look of pleasure. Do you, sir?
I would say that I know that Colonel Bradley had a good steak dinner shortly after this. Maybe he was anticipating it. I do know that Colonel Bradley looks to me as though he, too, is looking at Private Shine.
Well, now, if Bradley is feeling good about a steak dinner, Shine must be considering a whole haunch of beef, is he not?
Mr. Chairman.
Your point of order?
Yes, that's a point of order. How long must we put up with this circus? If counsel is trying to elicit information, good. If he's looking for a laugh from the audience, he won't talk about any physical defect of my chief counsel. It's so indecent, so dishonest. I'm not talking about any physical defect which Counsel Welch may have. I do not intend to. Let's get down to the issues, Mr. Welch. Each minute, Mr. Chairman, may I point out, each minute we waste here is wasting a vast amount of manpower, very important manpower, I think, the manpower of 8 senators and the heads of our military establishment.
Senator McCarthy, when you took the stand, you, of course, understood you were going to be asked about this letter, did you not?
I assume that would be the subject.
And you, of course, understood you were going to be asked the source from which you got it.
I never tried to...
Did you understand you would be asked the source?
I'll answer that. I never tried to read the minds of the senators, know what they will ask me.
Could I have the oath that you took read to us slowly by the reporter?
Mr. Welch, that doesn't seem to be an appropriate question. You were present. You took the oath yourself. You took the same oath you took.
The oath included a promise, a solemn promise by you to tell the truth, comma, the whole truth, comma, and nothing but the truth. Is that correct, sir?
Mr. Welch, you are not the first individual who tried to get me to betray the confidence and give out the names of my informants. You will be no more successful than those who have tried in the past. Period.
I am only asking you, sir, did you realize when you took that oath that you were making a solemn promise to tell the whole truth to this committee?
I understand the oath, Mr. Welch.
And when you took it, did you have some mental reservation, some Fifth or Sixth Amendment notion that you could measure what you would tell?
I don't take the Fifth or Sixth Amendment.
Have you some private reservation when you take the oath that you will tell the whole truth that lets you be the judge of what you will testify to?
The answer is there's no reservation about telling the whole truth.
Thank you, sir. Then tell us who delivered the document to you.
The answer is no. You will not get that information.
You wish then to put your own interpretation on your oath and tell us less than the whole truth?
Mr. Welch, I think I've made it very clear to you that neither you nor anyone else will ever get me to violate the confidence of loyal people in this government who give me information about communist infiltration. I repeat, you will not get their names. You will not get any information which will allow you to identify them so that you or anyone else can get their job. You can go right ahead and try until doomsday.
What? Well, I know why we've got a bad connection here, Henry. It's because I think the line is being tapped. Hey, you! Was ever listening in on this? This is Norma Webster, and I'm talking union to Henry Willis. I'm on tonight and every night. Same old story, no commercials. Union. Look, why don't you have your boss man tap me, and then you can go on home to your wife and kids. Henry? Oh, shoot.
You ain't getting any sleep. I ain't getting any sleep, and we got to get to work in the morning.
I got 100 calls to make tonight.
Is that going on our phone bill?
You can take it out of my paycheck, all right?
Damn, milk is sour.
I didn't have a chance to get to the market.
Well, you didn't have the chance to get to the market, did you? And you didn't get to the washing, and you didn't get to the kids, and you didn't get to me.
Is that right?
That's right. Damn TV dinners, kids going around in dirty jeans. I'm going down without altogether.
You want cookies? You got cookies. You want laundry? You got laundry. You want ironing? You got ironing. You want to make love? You get behind me and lift up my nightie, and we're going to make love.
I'll tell you the story of John Henry Falk. I'll tell you of his trials and the troubled trail he walked. And I'll tell you of the tyrants, the ones you never see. Murder is the role they play and hatred is their fee. On the TV and the radio, John Henry Falk was known. He talked to many thousands with a mind that was his own. But he could not close his eyes when the lists were passed around, so he tried to move the Union to tear the blacklist down. His friends, they tried to warn him he was heading for a fall. If he spoke against the blacklist, he had no chance at all. But he laughed away their warnings and he laughed away their fears, for how could lies destroy the work of many honest years? Then slowly, oh so slowly, his life began to change. People would avoid his eyes, his friends were acting strange. And he finally saw the power of the hidden poison pen when they told him that his job was through, he'd never work again. And he could not believe what his sad eyes had found. He stared in disbelief as his world come tumbling down. And as the noose grew tighter, at last the trap was clear. For every place he turned to go, that list would soon be there, oh, that list. And is there any bottom to the fears that grow inside? Is there any bottom to the hate that you must hide? And is there any end to your long road of despair? Is there any end to the pain that you must bear? His wife and children trembled, the time was running short, when a man of law got on their side and took them into court. And there upon the stand they could not hide behind their lies, and the cancer of the fascist was displayed before our eyes. Hey, you blacklist, you've seen what you have done. I've seen the men you've ruined and the lives you try to run. But the one thing that I've found is the only ones you spare are those that do not have a brain or those that do not care. And you men who point your fingers and spread your lies around, you men that left your souls behind to drag us to the ground, you can put my name right down there, I will not try to hide, for if there's one man on the blacklist, I'll be right there by his side. For I'd rather go hungry and beg upon the street than earn my bread on dead men's souls and crawl beneath your feet. And I will not play your haters' game and hate you in return, for it's only through the love of man the blacklist can be burned. For it's only through the love of man the blacklist can be burned.